Hello, good afternoon, happy Thursday, or if you live in the future, happy Friday. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Jack. How are you, my dear? Excuse me. Good evening. Hello and welcome. Hello? Hello, Jack. I'm good, but I don't have a lot of energy today, as is typical for Thursdays lately with this schedule. So I'm dragging my butt. I'm dragging my butt a little bit. Dragging my whole body, actually. Not sure I like this background. It's an okay background. We'll leave it. Who else is here today? Please do say hello. I don't have a lot of energy, so I don't think I'm going to say much. Hi, Jojo. Good morning. It is a huge commitment, 4 lives a week, and I'm really glad I've done it. But 2 months in a row, I am so glad I'm going to be done with it after next week. I actually took Thursday and Friday next week off, completely off from work and everything. So that'll be nice. Hello, Amelia. Welcome. How's everything in Sweden? No, Finland. Yes, Finland. I was wrong. Sorry. I'm a sleepyhead today. Oh. Or Joanne just woke up probably, so. What's new, my friends? Hello, April. Happy Thursday to you. Oh, Amelia's good. Glad to hear that. I forgot to remove one of the punch cards today. I wonder if this will work. Because today is the 29th, so we don't need a punch card for it anymore. Hi, Gwen. I don't know what you missed. There's been a lot this week. Jack is sleepy too, but at the other end of the day. Yeah, I'm right in the middle of the day. Joanne is not good at all, sadly. What's going on, Jojo? How are you feeling? I am fill in the blank. I am blank. I am blank. Greg is tired. Gwen is, I am feeling great. I am, one word, I am blank. I am great. I am tired. I am sad. I am happy. I am discouraged. Uh-oh. Joanne says, I can't walk again. I'm bleeding in my knee again, and I am in agony. Oh. All right, everybody. We have a special situation. April is motivated. All right, I'm just going to invite everybody, feet flat on the floor if you can. Close your eyes. And I just want you to hold an image in your mind, whatever first comes to mind, an image that represents Joanne to you. It doesn't have to be her face. It doesn't have to be anything. It could be a butterfly, a snake, dragonflies, the sun, a beating heart, whatever that image is. Allow that image to come to mind. That's right in this moment that represents Joanne. And Joanne, you can do this too. Or you can try. And just open your heart to this image, my friends. Mine is a very sweet-looking butterfly with beautiful, soft pastel colors. And it's just gently fluttering and flying around. And I want you to use your mind's eye and your mind's ear and your mind's heart and just wrap this image, whatever image you're working with for Joanne, wrap this image in just the most beautiful, glowing light. It can be whatever color you want. I encourage you to make it a soft and gentle light. To just wrap this image in the warmth of this light. This warm, loving glow that fills your heart space. Like the light is hugging the image, embracing it, holding it in its heart. And as you're wrapping light around this particular image that represents Joanne, just keep looking and focusing on this image, my friends. And repeat over and over in your mind a simple phrase of love, whatever comes to your mind. Just keep sending the warmth of your love straight at this image, wrapping it up with the light. And then with all the thanks that you can muster in your heart, just send all sorts of thanks and appreciation to this image. Just surround it with love and appreciation, thankfulness. You might even intuitively have a phrase come up in your mind. You might even be saying out loud something like, "Thank you, Joanne, for being here. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for being honest with us and present with us." And then in your mind's eye, take this image, allow it to solidify into an actual object, and then place it in a beautiful virtual box, the kind of box that you would use to place a present for one's birthday or Christmas or anniversary, and just place it gently in the box. Make sure that it has plenty of wrapping paper and cushion to keep it safe. And then wrap up and seal the box. You might want to put a bow or some ribbon on it, beautiful wrapping paper. And then just give it a kiss and send it off to Joanne. And watch as it flies through and away, being sent off through the energy mail. And if it helps, you can just picture your wrapped present, landing it next to Joanne and seeing everybody else's presents just sort of popping into existence, or maybe dropping out of the sky, or rushing through an open window, whatever works for you. Just watch as all these presents, all these beautiful gifts surround her. All these gifts from our hearts. And when you're ready, come back to the here and the now and open your eyes. Yep, love and big hugs to Joanne. Well, keep me posted, my friend. Keep us posted. Well, 7%, yeah, probably won't last long. So let's get into the message. Oops, how did that reset? There we go. With us for being up. There we go. Thank you for these opportunities. Thought I had it all queued up. Sorry about that. Good morning, our dear beloved friends, dear ones. We greet you today from the energetic realms, where we honor, celebrate, and love every single aspect of your day-to-day lives, your week-to-week lives, your year-to-year lives, your very existence. For every single hair on your head, every single turn of your hands, every single act of anything that you do in the world is truly worthy of celebration, and we were always inviting and encouraging you to celebrate in the same careless, reckless abandon, if you will, a thrill that we do not know how to express in any other terms right now. However, we're not necessarily here to talk about that, although we might. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We are here today to speak with you, and by the way, it's wonderful to be here with all of you again. We so appreciate these opportunities to gather together in the spirit of love, in the spirit of wisdom, in the spirit of source, and in the spirit of seeking and expanding your own knowledge and awareness of who you really are. And for this, we also celebrate, love, and honor you. Today, dear friends, we wish to speak with you about the number one block to experiencing is-ness. The number one block to experiencing your true beingness. And that is the human's mind, the mind of the human's tendency towards insistence. Insistence is the greatest roadblock to is-ness. Now, let us describe what we're talking about, because this is an energetic dynamic that we wish to offer some insights into so that you can begin to track this and fine-tune your thinking, calibrate it if you wish, and to find new avenues, new pathways through which you can make necessary adjustments. For experiencing yourself in your true beingness, in your is-ness, in your I amness, as we spoke of last week, experiencing this in the most purest and truest form, here and now, right in this very present moment, is truly the path to your spiritual evolution. For you cannot evolve by living in a place of state of being, of wasness, where you are focusing on the past. You cannot evolve by living in a state of being in which you are focused on the future, or not yet, yes, not yetness. You cannot evolve in the past, and you cannot evolve in the future. And this is because neither exists. The only true moment that exists is this very moment in time. This moment, this moment, this moment, this moment, this moment. The now is the only thing that exists. What happens in the human mind when insistence rears its beautiful head is that you are simply insisting that something be different than it is. Now, you know this feeling because you are not content. You are, you know that you are thinking this way when you're feeling ill-content, when you're feeling dis-ease, when you're feeling discomfort, when you are feeling not centered, when you are feeling off balance, when you are feeling like something needs to change in order for you to feel better. This is living from the outside in, for it does not work that way, dear friends. Life does not work from the outside in. For the outside, pardon us. For the outside, truly and quite simply, is just a mirror to your inner experience, to your inner existence. It is truly, simply just a reflection. Anything that you think that happened in the past or in the future is actually happening in the now across multiple different parallel timelines, and we will not get into that right now. We will stay with the topic of insistence. Do you think for a moment, can you recognize when you are thinking about something in an insistent manner? As our dear friend Bashar often says, insistence equals resistance. So it is very important to learn how to identify your insistence. Take, for example, that you quote-unquote got out of the wrong side of the bed in the morning. Indeed, a common phrase on your planet. However, simply what it means is that you woke up a little bit off balance. This may be an indication of insistence. If you are looking at something that is, take for example, you walk into the kitchen and somebody that you live with did not necessarily leave a certain dish or clean up after themselves or do something in particular that you appreciated. Perhaps somebody left something out in the bathroom. Perhaps somebody left the toilet seat up. Perhaps somebody out in the world is making too much noise, and you can suddenly feel agitation or slight irritation or a lot of irritation, and you are thinking, I wish that was different. Or perhaps you are looking at a physical malady that you are experiencing in your body right now, and you are wishing it to be different. You are working at it, quote unquote, or you are attempting to change it so that you can feel better, etc., etc. All of these are different examples and opportunities in which you could experience insistence. And truly, if we were to try to define insistence, it is thinking that things, people, places, or things should be different in order for you to feel different. And yet, here is how it works. Something happens, or someone happens, and you feel a certain way. Well, this is not because of the event. This is not because of the person, place, or thing that happened, dear ones. This is because of your perspective on it, your definition of what is right and wrong, good and bad, wanted and unwanted. You are having the emotional response because of your own mental filters. And so when you catch yourself in insistence, for example, let us say that you have a pretty good life, and then you get some information, or you hear a piece of words, or you think about something you want, and you think, oh, this needs to be different. I must do X, Y, and Z differently in order to get to that place, or to have that manifestation. I must effort. I must change myself. I must. This is insistence, dear ones. This is coming from the mind's inability to grasp and understand that the minute you desire something, energetically it has manifested. It is indeed present in the very moment to you. However, you're not seeing it because of whatever beliefs, definitions, thought patterns, significance that you have assigned to the person, place, or thing that is the topic. And the way you know this is in how you feel. If you are feeling dis-ease, if you are feeling discomfort, if you are feeling any of the lower vibration emotions, this is how you know that your perspective is not in alignment with how your higher self, with how Source itself, the very origin of your soul, which is still very much connected to you, sees the picture. We love the example of having a good life and getting agitated, feeling impatient, feeling like you need to work harder or something in order to manifest something that you suddenly realized you would like. For example, in Dear Greg's life, he would love to have his own apartment someday. He recognizes that the current place that he's living in is very much a stepping stone, but he does not know how long he will stay here. It is truly serving an important purpose right now for all of its various parameters and variables. And he is not ready for his own place, and yet he truly deeply desires it, and so he will often get into an insistent space thinking that he needs to do XYZ more, that he needs to do more live streams, create more tracks, do all these different things in order to whatever. He could not be further from the truth, dear ones, because his life in this very moment, his very is-ness, his very I amness is pure and perfect. Indeed, when he steps away from these moments of insistence, when he recognizes it and returns to the moment, returns to recognizing that exactly what is, and that it is beautiful, sometimes exciting, and truly perfect, he then suddenly remembers, ah yes, I have a good life. Everything is as it should be, and everything is good. Now, so this is, I feel like there's something for me to say to add to this, and I'm my energy's so low that I don't know what, but does anyone have any questions about this insistence topic? I think the thing that's sticking out that I want to talk about the council and many other sources have said, that to see, just in their comment about how everything is pure and perfect, I think we have to remember, right? Because we can hear a statement like that and be like, that's a load of crock or a crock of shit or whatever you want to call it, load of bull, right? But when we're quick to dismiss that statement, I think we're doing that from our mind's perspective, from our definitions of what perfect is. And we have to remember that when they're saying something like that, they're referencing it from Source's perspective. They're referencing it from a pure and perfect energetic perspective. And this is often really hard to take to heart. I think for me, it can be, like the example where they called me out again, the example about wanting my own place. I get deeply frustrated sometimes with that because I even though I have roommates, I live as though I have my own place, and yet I also try to do my best to be considerate and mindful of what's going on. But in my heart, I'm wanting to live from having my own place, but I'm not there. And it can get very, very frustrating because I don't see a path from here to there. But then when you look at certain aspects of your life, when there's a long-term theme of something that you've wanted and that's not, quote unquote, not unfolding for you the way you want, whether it's Joanne's legs or Gwen's project or my living situation, whatever. But then when we stop and we get a little bit of perspective, like we step away, when we get free from the insistence for a moment, then we open our minds and our hearts to considering other possibilities, right? For example, it's the end of May going into June. A year ago, I was in a complete panic, still living at Marty's. She died, and the family was just completely like taking the house apart, getting it ready to sell. And I was living in absolute chaos. So I don't have my own place, but I have my own room. I'm not living in chaos. There has been a huge jump forward. Right? So it's this funny thing that the mind does where it's never satisfied. It's always looking for more because it thinks that the more or the next or the future thing is going to be giving us the way that we want to feel. It's quite possible, it's always possible that in the moment it's always possible that in the moment we can feel the way that we want to feel right now if we focus our mind on something that helps generate that emotion. So in the middle of anybody's particular challenge of any type, it doesn't matter what degree, this could be a small little misunderstanding with a dearly beloved friend. This could be a massive issue or challenge like what Joanne's going through. It could be something in between. The magnitude of the challenge, while feeling more difficult, is not the principle of making the shift is the same, regardless of the magnitude of the challenge. Does that make sense? The principle of the shift of perspective is still the same. It may take a little more time. It may feel a little bit more rugged and rough going from when something has like a massive challenge feeling to it, like what Joanne's going through. But it is possible. It is possible to make the shift, right? And a lot of, okay, I'm getting a message. Okay, the council is telling me a lot of times what will happen in the ebb and flow of something that is a major theme for us is that something big will happen and we'll feel, or small, and we'll feel like we're in a major setback. And it's really important to remember that from Source's perspective, we're not going backwards at that moment. There is no regression. There is no going back. There is only going forward. So even though it might feel like for example, well, I don't have a good example right now, but it may feel at moments like we have a huge setback. That is still, even the perspective that it's a setback is coming from our own meanings, our own definitions, our own beliefs around what's good and what's not, right? So, and I get it. It's hard in what you perceive to be, when you're in the middle of what to be, you would perceive to be a setback. It's hard to stop for a moment. It's not necessarily, it doesn't come to mind quickly. It's hard to stop for a moment and remember, oh, that's right. There is no regression. There is only expansion. There's no going backwards. There's only going forwards. I don't even like talking about back or forward because it feels linear. Expansion, I like the circular models, as I've talked about many times in the past. Expansion, it's expansion or contraction. Contraction isn't a going backwards. Contraction isn't a regression. Contraction is basically shrinking down the little conduit that we feel connected to Source through. We can feel connected to love. And expansion is always happening for us, even in the middle of a perceived setback. So I guess Joanne's legs are a good example. This probably feels to Jojo like a massive setback. And yet, who are we to say that this isn't some sort of massive release? That this isn't some sort of, that she's maybe had a bunch of ahas or had some incredible shifts in recent weeks, and now the body is expressing it through massive release of toxins that is causing very agonizing pain. But who's to say that that experience isn't one of expansion? Only our mind. Is this making sense? It's subtle mental work, quite honestly. It's not work. Let me find a different word for it. It's awareness is really what it is. This is a very subtle level of awareness, and it is not easy to do, especially when we're in the middle of something that really has us riled up. Whether it's a big something or a little something, it doesn't, like I said, that the magnitude of the something, the magnitude of the event, the experience, the occurrence, doesn't matter, because it's how we respond to it that does. And it could be so small or quote unquote so big, and we can still have a huge response, I mean, emotionally to it, right? It could be the smallest, most ridiculous thing in the world, like somebody leaving a dish on a, or somebody, somebody upstairs in a place you have no control over having, a party, whatever. It could be something really, really small and annoying, or it could be something big like physical challenges, or, grieving, or loss, or who knows? I mean, everybody has a different response to different things because we all have different definitions and assign different significance to it. One person might have a harder time with what Joanne's going through, and another person might have a harder time with what somebody else is going through. And that right there is evidence of how important perspective is. Because when when two different people's response to the same type of thing is different, then it has nothing to do with the thing and everything to do with the person's response, which has everything to do with how we're thinking about it. Gwen says, wow, only expansion. Yes, makes sense. Jack says, yes, makes sense. April, sounds like energetic upgrades may appear as setbacks when actually it's like growing pains. Muscles under stress go stronger over time. Yeah, and a great example of this was, I just thought of, April just made me think of a funny little story from 15-ish years ago. I was living in LA and I was coming out of a dance class, and we were all sort of getting our street clothes back on instead of our dance clothes. And there was this one person, and I quickly looked at them and I said, oh my goodness, you're falling apart. And she laughed, and because like she's putting on overalls or something, and they were like mostly off, partially on, whatever. And I hadn't really paid attention to the progression of her getting into her street clothes. And she laughed and he said, well, actually, I'm falling back together again. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm falling back together again. Hello. Like that's a little like, that's like breaks up the circuitry of the mind. I'm falling. Falling usually we denote as a bad thing. Falling, you're going to crash, you're going to smash, you're going to break into pieces when you fall. But she said, I'm falling together again. It was a very, very clever mirror back to me. And it made me realize I made a quick assessment that her clothes were sort of falling off because I hadn't been paying attention. But when you actually think about it, how do we really know? Like, really know exactly what's going on? How do we really know? We don't. What's going on right now for all of us in whatever area of life that feels like there's a challenge is probably the most absolute best thing that could have ever happened. And it's our job to look for that, to look at that from that perspective and say, ask ourselves, how could this be? What would I need to believe or think or focus on in order to believe that this is the absolute best thing that could be happening right now? Because if our reality is dictated by what we're thinking about and we change the way we're thinking about it, guess what, my friends? We're going to feel better and we're going to come into alignment with our higher self, and the shit that we want is going to actually magically appear. Maybe not right away. Maybe over a 2-month period, maybe over a 1-month period, maybe over longer, because physical manifestation takes longer than energetic manifestation. Energetic manifestation is instant because it's energy. It doesn't have to materialize. It doesn't have to condense into a lower vibration. It is just of the higher vibration. Boom, there it is. It's done. Boom. Joanne's healthy legs, they already exist. We don't know where they are quite yet, but they already exist and they have existed. Whatever Jack is facing, Gwen's project, my place of my own, my expanded business, your whatever. It already exists right in the here and now. We just can't see it because our minds are not thinking in a way that lets our energy be in alignment with its existence. We're not vibrating at the same frequency because of the way we're thinking. Does that make sense? April says, I like that. Thinking of a snake shedding its skin. You don't see a snake going back to try to wear their old skins. That's so true. It's so true. The snake's like, probably even forgets about the old skin. It's probably slithered off. It's not slithering off far away thinking, oh, I wonder how my old skin is doing. I wonder if anybody found it and got grossed out. I wonder, they're not. It's just like shed. That's it. It just sheds. Let's see what else the console has to say. It may not always feel good, but this is indeed a powerful perspective for you to learn in your own lives as well. We invite and encourage you to pay attention when you are feeling this sense of out of placement, when you are feeling that senses of urgency, when you are feeling insistence, really, the dis-ease of insistence. Catch yourself, dear ones. Catch yourself, our friends, and just stop for a moment. Take a look at what is from a true place of an open heart, loving allowance for all things to be in their own time and place, and simply acknowledge their existence. Allowing, if insistence is the roadblock to is-ness, then allowing is its best friend. Allowing clears the path, and we're not talking acceptance, for acceptance on many levels is very much a mental activity, but allowing is a very heart-centered activity. You allow something to be. Yes, you may want it to be different, but in the insistence and in the wanting something to be different, even something from your past or something in your future to be different, you are not in the moment, you are not in your nowness, you are not in your is-ness. And it is only when you can be in your nowness, when you could be in your is-ness, when you can embrace the fullness of your I amness, it is only then that you can work in concert with the universe. It is only then that you can partner with the divine and with source in order to experience your own expansion and unfolding. It is all done from the current moment, dear ones. It is never done out of insistence, and it is never done out of the actions you take. Indeed, you do need to take actions at times, for this is truly the language of the physical environment that you live in. However, your actions are not solely responsible for your manifestations. Your manifestations come about from your perceptions. Your perceptions are responsible. Your actions are how you show the universe that you are embracing what is. So we leave you with this today. We know that we shared quite a lot for you to chew on. We hope that it makes sense. And if it doesn't, I'm sure that we will have another opportunity to speak further about this. We will hint at one more thing. If in your heart of hearts, dear ones, what you are ultimately wanting is to be thrilled about your life, then it is through embracing your is-ness, your I amness, your nowness, that you can experience that thrill. For the mind will never be satisfied. It will always look to the future and wishing it to be different than the present, or wishing for the past to have been different in order to have a different present. None of that matters. The mind cannot give you the thrilling life. It will never, ever, ever fully be satisfied. The thrill of life, the enjoyment of life, comes from living in the now, comes from being in your is-ness, comes from embracing who you truly are here and now. And this, our dearest friends, is the seed that will open up whole new pathways, perceptions, and insights for you. And this is why we are sharing this, because when you are in your is-ness and you are recognizing the thrill of just existing, separate from any definitions, any significance, any meanings that you have placed on anything in life, the thrill of just existing, then you will understand why we always say we are loving and celebrating every single aspect of you, for we indeed are thrilled with your very existence. Not because of what you do, not because of what you say, not because of who you are, but because you are. We are thrilled. We will leave you with that today until we meet again. Thank you, we love you, and we remind you that you are always in our thoughts, in our presence, and in our hearts. And we bid you adieu for this day. Well, that last comment was pretty powerful. They're thrilled simply because we exist. Think about that for a moment. Really take that into your hearts, guys. There's no conditions there. They're thrilled simply because we exist. Can you imagine living our day-to-day lives? I mean, we often hear this from people who have near-death experiences, right? They have a completely different perspective and feeling about life after those. And I'm not well versed on any of those particular experiences, but it's a shift in understanding, right? It's a shift in perception of what's real. And it's not so much that things are real or not. It's whether something, it's like I try not to say that the past or the future aren't real, but I do like talking about them in terms of illusions, reflections. Hi, CG. Good to see you. Gwen says, it's like the other day. We are worthy because we exist. Exactly. We are worthy because we exist. The council is thrilled to celebrate us and love us simply because we exist. You know, I was feeling sad a little bit before the stream today. I was thinking of somebody who I have very, how do I say it? Thinking about them really fills my heart with a lot of love. It's a very expansive feeling love. So I can't exactly call it a crush. But they're not communicative with me. For whatever reason, it doesn't really matter. And I got a little sad, and then I was like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. That's me putting a condition on my experience of loving them. I love them. I love her just because she exists. Will there be a relationship? Who knows? Will there be a friendship? Who knows? Were the times that we got to interact amazing and fantastic? Yes. Do I need anything to be indifferent? Different? Does the mind can insist that it should be different? But in order to love this person, do I need the scenarios, the situations, and the conditions to be different? No. Because when I love, even as I love you guys, because I love their existence, that should be enough. That is enough for me to experience the love of loving another individual. That's enough, whether they reciprocate it or not. It's my experience of the love. And I regularly return to that. After being single for a long time, it is not always easy, but the remembrance that I'm the one experiencing the love, not because the person is present in my life or not. And I love lots of different people. Actually, I love lots of different people to varying different degrees of love. There's many different styles and types of love that I experience, but it's all pure love. And do I need them to be here all the time? Do I need them to talk to me regularly? Do I need XYZ? No, I'm the one loving them, whether they're here or not. And why am I loving them? Because they exist. I love that they exist. Therefore, I love them. Hey, Anna. Good to see you, sweetheart. Oh, my God. That's so good to see you. It's been a while. Yeah. Gwen, you're saying, wow, what's going on? You got an aha? Another one? Isn't it, Jack? She says, that's so beautiful. I'll give you an example for those who've been with me. So I was staying with a friend in Fort Collins, Colorado a couple of months ago, towards the end of last year, the fall. And love this friend to pieces. Absolutely, like, always loved her, always will, kind of a thing. Just absolutely amazing person. And I was fascinated. I would ask her how her meal was, and she would downplay it. And I mean, it's neither here nor there, but it got me starting to think, because I'm the kind of person who's like, every bite of my meal, I'm like, oh my God, this is so yummy. I'm so enjoying this so much. This is so delicious. And yet her kind of response would be, it was just a salad. Wait a minute. Salads are amazing. Sometimes they're bland and sometimes they're full of flavor, but either way, they're still they're like, it's not just it. So it's just interesting. Her perspective on food is very different than mine. Obviously, I have a way different history with food, having come from addiction and everything, compared to her, right? For her, it's just fuel. It's just fuel as part of a busy day. And that's just the way that she's been living it, right? But it was so interesting. And then if she cooked it and she wasn't quite satisfied with it, you know, it was just interesting to observe a very different experience of that compared to mine, right? It's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It's just her experience of the food that she eats. And who knows, maybe my appreciation for the food, great appreciation, comes from all the struggles that I went through with it during addiction, and then comes from making friends with it, and comes from a time of not having a lot. When I was homeless to semi-homeless, sleeping in my car kind of a thing, where every meal, I became appreciative of every meal because I didn't know when I was going to have the next one. So who knows, maybe that's where my deeper sense of enjoyment comes from. Or maybe it's just fun. Maybe it's just fun to enjoy food. Maybe it's just fun to take a bite. I tried a new drink today. I love these sparkling juices from this brand called Izzy, Izze. And they're low calorie and they have plenty of flavor. And I tried cherry lime today. Now, most of the time when I think of cherry, I think of sweet cherries. This was used, like sour cherry juice was used in this, but it was really beautifully combined with the hint of lime. And the minute I drank it, I was like, oh, wow, that's a burst of flavor I didn't expect. And then I was like, yummy. And people would think I'm nuts because I'm sitting there like super effusively expressing enjoyment over this little 6-ounce drink. And yet in that moment, I'm absolutely thrilled with the existence of that drink and my enjoyment of it. Now, I don't do that all the time. I'm not always that way. But I think that that's a great example of the spirit of the thrill that the council has. Like, I think I've been learning that from them, quite honestly, because they're thrilled that we exist. It's so freaking unconditional. Gwen says, just that I don't need to put expectations on someone for my love for them to be valid. Yeah, nor do they need to say, do, behave, or anything in a different way. They may not even line up with your life, but you can still love somebody who doesn't line up with your life you only start pining and longing and missing them when our mental insistence is for things to be a certain set way. That's where we get ourselves into trouble. But the true essence of flowing unconditional love to flow through us is when we just acknowledge it feels good to love this person. I like loving this person. Yes, of course I would want them in my life, or of course I miss them from being in my life, if maybe after a breakup or a death or something. Of course you do. But we still love them. That's where the celebration occurs, right here in our hearts. That's where the love experience is, not in them. It doesn't require their presence. I should be in a food commercial, Yana says. That's crazy. Hey, Jacqueline, good to have you here, dear. Jessica says, that makes you special, Greg. It's good to enjoy everything and be able to discern the little things. Too many people just rush through life and don't notice the special things in life. Hi, by the way. Hi, Jess. Good to see you. Hey, Johnny, that's my response to dark chocolate. Oh, my God. The best dark. Oh, yeah. I have to agree, Johnny. Dark chocolate. Like do a little Homer Simpson thing. Wow. Okay. So, insistence is the biggest block to experiencing your own isness. Allowing, not acceptance, allowing is isness's best friend, the remedy. Allowing is the remedy to insistence. So the next time you are catching yourself in insistence, right? And how do we know we're in insistence? We're starting to feel really, really dragged down by that. And we catch ourselves thinking thoughts and maybe we spiral into them or maybe we don't, right? But you can feel, think about a situation where you've been really insistent, or just pay attention next time you're really insistent. You clearly don't feel like you're in the moment. You feel out of sorts. You feel disconnected. You feel uncentered. You feel unbalanced. You feel ungrounded. It's that simple. Train yourself to recognize when you are feeling that way. And that is your indicator. The minute you recognize that you're feeling off balance, or you're feeling off center, or you're feeling not grounded, or you're feeling not free, or you're feeling heavy, or weighed down by something. Hello, that's your mind. That's the indicator that your mind is running the show, that your mind's off on some insistent mental track, right? And you're not in the moment, and you're not in your isness. And so then opening our hearts, allowing all things to be in their own time and place, starting with ourselves. I got that from my very first channeled guide, Dr. Peoples. He used to say it all the time. Loving allowance for all things to be in their own time and place. Loving allowance. Not agreement, not acceptance, not making peace with it. You don't even need to make peace with something. But you can allow it. And how do we do that? The same way the council's been talking about for weeks now. Oh, hello thing that I don't like. I see you. Yes, I see you. Yes, I see you. Yes, I see you. Whatever it is, say yes to it. It exists. And all it wants is acknowledgement. All it wants is acknowledgement. You might have a fight with somebody. Acknowledging that was a fight. Ah, yes, I see you. Disagreement, argument, fight, misunderstanding. I see you. I see you. Hi, I don't like you. I'm not happy you're here, but I do see you. And when we see it and acknowledge and say yes to it, we're acknowledging its right to exist. And why does it have a right to exist? It has a right to exist because if it didn't, it wouldn't exist. But it is here in our experience. So therefore, it has a right to exist because it exists. Just like how the council is thrilled about us simply because we exist. The council loves us and celebrates us simply because we exist. So when we can begin to stop putting conditions on whatever exists in our life, we can actually start to be more present with it. And as we're more present with it, we're more present with the field of love and the energy of unity. It's really powerful stuff. And I think I'm done talking. Jacqueline says, yes, the little things, the little pleasures in life. Any other questions, my dear friends? If you haven't followed yet, if you're brand new or what we like to call a firstie, please feel free to say hi here in chat. We'd love to greet you warmly and say hello and welcome you to the community. You can follow right there on my profile pop-up card. I love these new pop-up cards. Diana, have you used them yet? They're super fun. I really love them. Also, if today's message from the council or anything I have said has really touched you deeply and you feel so inspired, please do consider offering a love offering, a donation, whatever you want to call it, sharing your abundance with me. I appreciate it, not required. It's very helpful for spreading this work in the world. Every single time I get a donation, it goes to, basically paying the business expenses. And thankfully I have a job now that keeps food on the table. So, but yeah, any and all donations are very much loved and appreciated. And also, we've only got 2 more sessions, guys. 2 more sessions. Tomorrow, the last one for this week, and then one more. Tomorrow, here's what tomorrow's about. Oh, wait, you guys are saying something. Amelia says, I love this message. Resonates so much again. I've been feeling chaotic and out of balance, right? But when I allow the experience to be, I notice my heart opening and filling with peace. Yes, Amelia, beautiful. Exactly what we're talking about. Love it. Love that for you. That sounds like a huge breakthrough for you. Gwen says, now I'm tired and ready for a nap. I've been napping all day. I'm still ready for a nap. Yeah. Yana, yes, I have. I really like them. Yeah, I love the pop-ups too. Anyways, there's tomorrow's. Tomorrow we're doing the reprise, the replay of every moment has infinite possibilities, infinite choices. This is one, Gwen, if I remember correctly, you were not physically present for this one, but you watched it on the replay channel, on the replay social later, and you had left a comment, and I can't remember what it was, but this was one that was really impactful for you. Thank you, Jacqueline, for sharing a donation. Really appreciate it. It helps bring my work out into the world. Yes, beautiful stuff. Yeah, so there's Fridays. Oh my God, it's the end of May, everybody. And then the last session, oh my God, last one is next Monday, June 2nd. Coffee with the Council Reprise. Does this resonate with me deep within my heart? That was such a beautiful session because it was like the council tied everything up into this lovely little bow for us. And it was just, yeah, I don't remember the specifics, but I do feel the energy. I am almost at 1,000 followers, Yanni. Yeah, that's true. All right, so Coffee with the Council, only 2 more sessions, my dear friends. After that, it's moving to another platform. I haven't figured out what platform yet, but for the evolution of this work, it requires an expansion outside of this platform. Love Insight Timer, love all of you, but we have to bring Coffee with the Council and other things into the light in a different way now. So, if you want to stay informed and in touch about that, please reach out to me. I'll let you know, or just use my teacher link. There's lots of different ways to get in touch with me. I will still be doing things after Monday. I will still be doing some things on Insight Timer, like readings, because they work out really well on Insight Timer. And I'm actually looking forward to doing some readings again, maybe a journey here and there, but most of the body of the council's work is going to be moving into a different platform, just because I think we're all ready to go deeper, quite honestly. And if you don't have to type, if you can just talk, if we can just, like, if I can stay in channeling state, which would be fantastic, right? Then we can really drill down deep on, and like maybe even facilitate some beautiful breakthroughs. Or just have a lot more fun, because it's all fun. Wonderful. Thank you, Jacqueline, and Jacqueline. Hi, Jack from Jack. We have 2 Jacks now, but one's Jacqueline and one's Jack. All right, my dears. That's it for me. Gwen needs a nap. I need a nap. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow if you're going to be here. And if not, I'll see you another day or talk to you another time. So I will head off, wishing you all the best. Love you completely, very much so. Very, very much love and appreciation for all of you being here today. I really appreciate whenever anybody attends a live, and it is just nice. Even if you haven't said a peep in chat, which is just fine, I appreciate that you were here today. And that means a lot to me. So thank you for that. It is exciting, Yana. Yeah, to feel the expansion of this work is just a really beautiful thing. You're welcome, Johnny. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Oh, thanks for the kisses and the hug, Jacqueline. All right, my dear friends. See you very soon. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.